Because I like men in their 30s. When a man tell me he's 30, I'm like, oh my God, that's a turn on. 28, whatever. 30, oh, you 30? You 32, you 33. I feel like that's the age for a man, that's their prime. A woman prime is 25. A man prime is 22, 23. That's when they don't got no fight. They're just not getting money. They're just not knowing how. 32, I feel like 30, between 28 to 33, a man, that's when they really start getting money. They at their mama crib, they getting their own money, their financials together, they're having fun, they feel like they're the man. They even look better at 30. Yeah, dude, I know dude, you Rico, I met you when you was 25, 26. I thought you was a little boy. Now you're like 27, 28, you got more like, you know, we got more manhood into you.
Beard,
I'm just saying, like,
still got
a man don't make.
She was saying that women, they're gonna be their best around 25, basically before 30. But for men, things won't get better until after 30. Shout out to 8 at the Table, that's where this clip comes from. Before we get into it, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Click the notification bell for all updates, and if you're new, include new subscriber in your comment below, and I'm gonna try my best to respond to all of you. Not gonna waste any time, let's go ahead and get into it.
We're gonna get into what is the appropriate age to get married. So I did my little research, and it says that there's a theory called the Goldilocks theory, right? And it says the ideal age to get married is the age 28 to 32, because that's the least likelihood to get divorced in the first 5 years, the age 28 to 32, where you're young enough to be married and old enough to have sense. So meaning like you're old enough to realize true compatibility from puppy love, but young enough to not be so set in your ways, and you're like, you know, flexible to be like, okay, just to have a compromise. And also I do believe though that if you put an age limit on yourself when to get married, you'll find yourself scrambling around like, oh my God, I gotta get married, I'm 40 something, I didn't get married yet. So I feel like even though there is an age limit, I'm saying there's no age limit. I believe it's not about age, it's about perfect timing.
Yeah.
And when you are confident in your personal and career life.
And that's a major problem for modern women because they are never satisfied with their lives. I mean, look at people like Chesley Christ or Aisha Curry or even Super Scent. Enough is never enough and they're never satisfied. So if a woman is waiting to be satisfied in order to take settling down serious, it will never happen. That's why you have women in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s like AJ Johnson who will never settle down.
So
I would agree with that.
With that being said, what is the appropriate age? Do you believe there's appropriate age to get married?
I don't. I do not. I think that's very dangerous to like box yourself like that. Especially like, I know a lot of my female friends, they're like, oh, I'm this age and I'm not in a relationship. I'm not getting married and I'm running out of time or whatever. And I just think that that's, I don't know. I just think that's dangerous to think because you have your whole life. Like your life is your whole life. And like, you don't commit like certain aspects of your life to just a certain decade of your life. You know what I mean? Like you're not like, oh, I need to grind in my career in my 20s. I think you need to like be in your career. You picked your career is your life. So like that's your whole life. And
And that's the problem right there. Women making their jobs their lives. That's what this woman right here did. She did everything that she set out to do. From all the degrees, the dream job as a lawyer, hated that. Then her dream job as a correspondent, interviewing celebrities. Won Miss USA at an older age than everybody else. Made history as the oldest woman to win Miss USA. After failing in the Miss America pageant and aging out of that system. And then one day she woke up at 30 years old and realized how much time she wasted on stuff that did not matter. At the end of the day, none of it mattered. She still wasn't happy. She adopted feminism, the same type of rhetoric that this woman is speaking. Her job was her life. She saw she was out of time. She went to school to get her MBA and law degree for 4 years. That's after spending 4 years in undergrad, only to work a year and a half as a lawyer. That's 8 of her prime years of her life. And who do you think really put the pressure on her? Her own mother, who was trying to live her life through her daughter. So no ma'am, what's dangerous is women thinking that their job is their life.
yeah, I think when you know, you know. I'd like to be a little bit of a romantic in that way. And I think that's really all I have to say. I don't think that there should be an age because I think that's a bit scary and it puts too much pressure on it when there's already enough pressure on the whole idea.
Yeah, so just keep pushing them towards failure because you don't want to hurt their feelings. So just keep lying to them, right?
Well, girl, I think I'm one of your friends because I am the type of person to say, I need to get married by this and this age because, yeah, I'm going to be running out of time. And that age to me, I feel like is in your 30s. I'm just going to put that time gap in it because right now I am in my 20s. And like you did say, people use your 20s to like focus on your career. But I feel like in this day and age, there's a lot of hustlers. There's a lot of people starting businesses. There's, you know, there's a lot of like women and men like getting to the bag, hustling or whatever. And once you set that foundation, the earlier you do it, the more you're setting yourself up for success in your career for the rest of your life. So once you get that done earlier, you can focus on what the rest of your life looks like.
But sometimes that doesn't take just your 20s. Sometimes that takes a long time. And some people don't even realize what they want to do until they're in their 30s or their 40s, or they have a completely different career change. And
sometimes that's because they don't have somebody with them.
Exactly. Most older women who are honest, they will tell you that most of their struggle came from them trying to do everything alone. I'm telling you, as a woman, life is so much easier if you're not doing it alone. Constantly trying to figure everything out, and every year just finding themselves in the same spot. But go ahead, strong women, do whatever you want to do.
Maybe if they had somebody with them the whole time, then that person can help them find new depths of themselves so they don't have to change their careers. They can find their career and stick to it. Or they can find that person that can help support them and help grow their careers. You know, if you, let's just say you were 26 and 28, for example, and you just started your career and you got somebody that's supportive, that believes in you and that's pushing you, then that self-doubt may never trickle in. Maybe that lack of support system may never trickle in, and maybe you both become successful together and you grow together. So
isn't that the dream?
I mean, it is a dream, but there's also a theory, because the theory is 28 to 32, and most men don't get settled in their careers or settled with their finances until 30. So that's actually smack dab in the middle of a theory, and the theory is not a theory based on poetic or fantasies and dreams. It's based on real studies of real people. So it makes sense. Like for me, I believe that's the same thing. 28 to 32, I would give that a great 4-year range. I don't want to be 45 because I'm already kind of stuck in my ways now, and dealing with relationships, I find myself having to get out of the ways that I grew up and was taught, or what I've experience to learn. I can only imagine how much more experiences I'm gonna have that I'll be stuck in the more that time frame goes on. Also, the more partners that you have in your life, the more you're gonna compare that partner to your new partner. So if I've been dealing a single life for 45 years and then I compare all of my experiences to one person, they're never gonna live up to that. And it's gonna be hard. You're gonna get to a point where you're settling for a relationship instead of settling for a happy.
Well, I agree. I don't think you should ever settle. I think that, but if you're still comparing your new relationship to your old relationship, then you're not over that old relationship.
You're not comparing the relationships. I'm saying
just said you were.
Experiences. I speak very, very clear. You're comparing your life experiences. It's like if I go to Mexico today, right? I'm gonna compare it to Colombia that I went to.
Okay, that's a vacation. We're talking about relationships.
But you're talking about your experiences. So I can have a great experience with her, right? And a great experience with her, and a great experience with her, and a great experience with you, and then have a 20 years down the line, I'm dealing with somebody and things are getting hard. So now I'm thinking about, do I really have to deal with this? Well, I never had to deal with this in any of my other relationships or any of my other experiences.
Yeah, but I think a marriage is different than a relationship. I think a marriage is a bigger commitment. And marriage, you take the vows and you work through things. If you're not willing to work through the hard things in a marriage, then you shouldn't be married.
Yeah, but if you're 45 and you're dating, what age do you really think you're gonna get married? In the first 6 months?
Maybe you don't want to get married. You're 45, you've been dating, and maybe you like that life. Maybe you don't want to.
But we're not shaming that. The question is, what is an appropriate age to get married?
I feel like
Exactly. The conversation is not about people who don't want to get married. And then the comment that he made about a man and a woman being together, they'll be more successful. She was like, it's a dream. No, it's not a dream. It's a fact. And I always say it's almost impossible to change people once they get to a certain age. The older they get, the more stubborn they are. And these two women right here, they're under 30. The white lady says she was 27 years old, but she's already as hard as a brick wall. And I've said it countless times, you cannot mold stale bread. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. Special thank you to Roland. Thank you, Roland, for all of your support for this channel, as well as our brother Dark Power, Nuke, and our sister Jemiah. I appreciate all of you. Want to see more content like this? You can support the channel too. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balance analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.